Hey, hi, hello. Okay, this is an unexpected killer. Okay, let's play it.
Police tracked down several suspects. She was absolutely the possible person who was involved. She had all
Okay,
He began bragging about
I'm going to
other
be here.
involvements that he had with acts of violence. We knew that he had some bad blood with William. Just when police think they might never catch the killer. We were pretty frustrated, and the wind was kind of taken out of our sails. The case takes a mind-blowing turn. She's he had been in possession of the guns used. Now, law enforcement was pretty stunned on that. To reveal a killer no one imagined. You know, William? Yeah, was someone that if you passed on the street would look as innocent as they come. Darkest, blackest, known for its white sand beaches, Panama City lies on the Gulf Coast of Florida's
That's beautiful. Oh God,
the biggest
nice.
industry is tourism, with
I
millions of people.
I lived in Florida. It's not all that it's cracked up to be. And it's anywhere really. Okay, everybody has their preferences where and what they like.
1998. The town's sense of safety is rocked by a chilling 911 call. It's 3 o'clock in the morning.
Hey,
There was
Lulu.
a call from a woman that her
It's
husband
my
had been
Lulu.
shot and killed.
That's my Lulu. That's my Lulu. That's my Lulu. Go on. You have to duck. Oh, Lulu. No. Lulu. Go on. Go on. You have to duck. You don't want me to attack this. You want to be able to walk across. Oh, you want to lay by me? Okay. Okay. You can. Mhm. Okay, Appa. No, no. You know what you did. You know why you did. No barking. Whoa. Okay. Mommy's having a coffee. Okay, be careful. Have my coffee. I knew he was gone. You have somebody murdering your husband and shooting you. All in 6 seconds. Nothing can prepare you for that.
Angelica identifies as her husband, 30-year-old Ron Stovall. Children were taken to Ron's parents' house. They didn't live too far away. And the victim's wife went to the police department where we could talk to her. With Angelica and the children out of harm's way, detectives can examine the crime scene.
And my Lulu. That my Lulu.
He got shot 3 times in the back, once in the hip, and there was a shot to the back of the head. The investigators find an important clue close to the there were blood footprints. They're on the floor.
I think I need 2 more rolls.
What looked like the letter H.
There you go, sweetheart.
Kind of next to each other.
Okay, there you go.
At least part of the crime because they would have been standing in the
There
victim's
you go.
blood and then
There goes my Lulu. Yes, that's for my Lulu. Okay now, that's enough. Well,
killer shot with what looks like a handgun with the lower extremity, and then you have a shotgun.
Lulu, that's enough. Okay, if they're not coming through the door, stop barking.
emotional hatred for the while forensics wrap up their investigation of the crime scene, detectives head to the police station to meet with Ron's wife, Angelica. I don't know how emotionally overtaken she was, but she had been an eyewitness to this scene, so she was critical in our investigation.
I can't even comprehend what's going on. He was dead. I did not want to live without him. Ron was truly amazing. He was always full of
No, that's enough. What did I say?
He was very close with his family. He was always out doing stuff with school, doing stuff with the church.
He was well known within the community. Ron served almost 4 years in the Navy. He had felt a commitment to his country and enjoyed his Navy service. Ron always dreamt of having a family, and in 1989, he met his first wife.
What did you look at me for? What time is it? You got a little bit of time, and then it'll be, I'm not going to say the words. His name? Lulu? Lulu. Okay. I'm up. I'm getting up. But, okay, let's go. See if we get the party. Hey.
In 1997, the couple married, just like Ron, and had a child from a previous relationship. A year later, their family of 4 became 5, and they had a daughter of their own. Ron took on several jobs. He worked as a waiter, he worked as a delivery man, he was
Very dedicated and massage therapy license. He did it. We were very happy.
Who would want to gun down this loving husband and father in cold blood? At the station, Angelica tells police how the murder unfolded.
I was able to tell the cops everything I knew, and I didn't try to hold anything back. Ron got up at about 3 o'clock every morning, and I would get up and make his lunch for him to take to work.
Wait until Ron left the house and was suddenly ambushed.
He collapsed on the ground, and the killer tried coming through the door, so I was fighting with him. He got his hand through a gun. He shot.
Detectives gain important information. Brown eyes, brown hair. He had some type of indicated the assailant as he was delivering the this is we need to find out who her was, and we need to find out what made this happen. This wasn't just a random killing. This was an assassination, is what it was. Investigators asked Angelica who might want Ron dead. Immediately she went to Tina, his ex-wife. This all indicated that the relationship between Ron and his ex-wife was volatile. There was a custody issue with their daughter. Things got a little bit more sticky with the setup, and Ron was filing for full custody of the child. Could the bitter custody battle have turned deadly? This was an enormous red flag for us as a team. Whoever her was may have in fact had to do with sex wife. It's probably one of the worst situations we ever deal with the man and woman and children involved. It will just about make a person do anything. Coming up, police uncover a key piece of evidence. He brings out a shotgun round that is similar to the one that we recovered from our crime scene, leading to a disturbing plot. The photo identification that made him a prime suspect.
It was his eyes. I saw it was the same person.
And a sickening betrayal no one saw coming.
They planned this whole thing.
None of us had ever worked a case like this.
I understand how somebody could have so much hatred.
Police investigating the cold-blooded shooting of 30-year-old Ron Scott are looking into his relationship with his ex-wife, Tina Drexler. We knew that there was an extreme amount of tension between Ron and his ex-wife, and there was a custody battle that was forthcoming.
Ron and Tina originally shared custody, but Ron had filed a petition basically saying that he wanted full custody of the child.
At this point, Tina was that individual who had the most to gain from Ron's death. Perhaps she had not been the one on scene, but it still doesn't eliminate her as having some type of involvement.
This looked like certainly an intentional and a premeditated killing. Might have been a killing for hire.
Detectives speak to Ron's friends and family to get a clearer picture of the animosity with Tina.
When Ron remarried, it was okay, but not really okay. Tina, as well as her family, did not like the new wife, and the situation deteriorated between all of them.
Tina's behavior appeared increasingly. Tina began thinking that Ron was trying to work Tina out of the picture, and that really kind of amplified the rub and the tension.
You know, crazy fighting.
This custody hearing was held for 3 weeks when this incident happened. Tina was absolutely the person who was involved in this murder. She had all the
With the custody of Ron's ex-wife to murder, investigators bring Tina in for an interview. One of the things that was most alarming when we sat down with Tina was that there was no remorse, no emotional activity on her part, that she was even concerned that he was dead. When investigators ask about her relationship with Ron, Tina's answer is surprising. We knew there were a lot of hostilities, but when Tina was interviewed, she kind of painted that the relationship with them was cordial, it was friendly. It's a red flag for us as investigators because she's already showing signs of deceit. With suspicions raised, detectives grilled Tina about her whereabouts in the hours leading up to Ron's murder. She told us the night before the homicide, she had went to work at a local restaurant. She was a bartender. She got off sometime between 11
Leave
and
my coffee
midnight. She
alone.
went home and just sat and watched TV with her mother. Then after that, she went to bed, and at the time of the homicide itself, she had been home asleep. Before police can press Tina further, the interview is interrupted.
her mother had hired a lawyer for her.
The attorney made contact with Tina and immediately ended the interview. Unable to finish questioning Tina, detectives look into her alibi.
Police were able to establish that she had been at work.
Eddie,
that night
really?
until 11:30.
Investigators also speak with Tina's mother, Ann Drexler.
She was the grandmotherly type and helping Tina get back on her feet and help her get through this divorce.
Ann come across as a very down-to-earth, nice lady, a housewife, and she confirmed that Tina had been at the house with her watching TV. Though Tina's alibi
Oh no. No barking. Look at me. Eddie. calm down.
Deadly consequences. As we began looking into Mr. Harris,
Okay.
whether he was paid to do
I
it
might
or
have to
whether
take
he did it on
Eddie
his
to a
own,
psychiatrist.
but the
He goes
concern was that
bonkers
he
when he
may
sees
have perpetrated
any dog,
to
but
make
this one
good
particular dog. I mean, he goes ballistic.
investigators trying
Okay, let's see if we can hear the rest of this.
when we talked with Adrian, he did acknowledge that there was some bad blood between the two of them, but he really kind of downplayed the significance.
The day of the murder, he told us he went to work.
He had
That's
clocked
Eddie
in
going back and
before
forth.
7:30, and the time of Ron's death was 3:30 in the morning.
Detectives checked travel times.
Now,
between
they're saying
Baltimore and
that little
Panama
girl
City.
There
or
was not
woman
enough time to get
killed
to
that
Panama
man.
City from several states away to do the murder and go back home.
Who?
While Adrian is ruled out, someone close by catches the investigator's attention.
We talked to his roommate, Guy McInville. When the officers went to talk to Adrian's roommate, they discovered the description of the killer that Angelica gave to the law enforcement. The roommate didn't quite
Okay,
well.
let's going to take the measurements. Like I said, it's 6 inches going across and 6 inches going up and down. So I have my little handy case, and I have my measuring tape.
Investigators rush to confirm if God is a true match for the gunman.
6.
We've got pictures of him to show the wife, Angelica. See if he could have been the one that she saw that night.
I think I have 2 or 3 more rows to do.
Detectives include the picture of God into a photo lineup.
Angelica was an essential witness.
She was a witness who could identify the individual that did the crime. Her photographic identification.
I'm going to start working on my editing after this. I'll probably watch one more crime show and get to work.
Ron Stova was shot to death at home in front of his
Trying to make it so that it's not choppy, has a beginning and an end, and what to edit out and what to put in. There's things I want to add. I just don't know how to do them just yet. But I'm going to learn. I find this very interesting. I mean,
that made him a prime suspect.
if I look at it as a job, then I know that I'm going to be doing just a few things on a daily basis. Okay? And that's, learning. Learning to edit, learning all of my Adobe software. And there's certain things, a lot of things I had cut out. Oh, I'm sorry, we're supposed to be listening to this. And I'm just rattling on. I am a talker. Okay. Let's go back to the story.
The shoe impression that we had at the scene. So we're moving in the right direction. Police bring Guy to the local police station for questioning. Although we still were missing the key pieces of evidence, the guns and such as that, we really felt like we were starting to put together the edges of the puzzle. In speaking with Guy, what he provided us for an alibi was that he was in Maryland working. At the end of work, he went home, slept. The next day, he got up, went to work. And so that was his alibi. Detectives check out Guy's story. We had an opportunity to speak with Guy at his place of employment, and we were able to collect some video that correlated with his timeline of what he said. There was physically no way possible for him to have been here in Panama City at the time of the crime.
It turned out that what Guy McInville said to the police was correct. Guy had an alibi.
Eager to further prove his innocence, Guy volunteers to take a polygraph.
We successfully passed that. So we were able to clear Mr. McInville.
Yeah.
For police, it's a disappointing setback. We were pretty frustrated, and it's a roller coaster. It's one of those, now you're back in the lows again, and the wind was kind of taken out of our sails.
daughter barked so much because I was taking Lulu and Eddie out to potty, and Appa will be taken out by Eric.
Well, I remember him being the same person. It stuck in my head like that. But I was wrong.
It's difficult when you see something that quick that you can say, okay, this is the individual that did the crime.
We thought we had this thing solved, but you just gotta go regroup, see what you still have to do. You just start from there.
Desperate for new leads, investigators review Ron's autopsy report.
The autopsy confirmed 2 different weapons. They told us that it was a .357 round that he had been shot with, plus the shotgun shell. One big thing
We'll do one more row and then measure it again.
Got his face. We think that Ron was laying there on the floor, and this guy's saying this is for her, and he presses that shotgun to the back of his head, and Ron's looking at him, and that went off.
The forensics report contains another crucial detail that could lead police to the killer.
These were close proximity rounds, and so we knew that this was something personal, and the shotgun shell was paramount. It was a unique round. We would be able to identify them. So that was a plus in our corner.
Detectives shared details of the firearms with local law enforcement, hoping to track down their owner.
We worked so closely with different police departments in the area. We talk to them all the time in case something turns up.
As investigators continue to search for answers, Ron's loved ones struggle with their grief.
The best thing in my life was that life. I didn't think I was strong enough to go through anything. Without him, he was always full of life. Losing your soulmate, you can't even explain how much pain that was. It still is. It'll never go away.
3 weeks after Ron's murder, the investigation is threatening to grow cold, but then police receive a tip that reignites the case.
We got a call from the Panama City Beach Police Department. They had a home invasion out there on the beach. During that arrest, they recovered 2 handguns and a short barrel shotgun.
They knew from the investigation of the crime scene where Ron Stovall was killed that a shotgun had been used and a handgun had been used.
That coincides with what we're looking for. We wanted to go over the evidence they had and the circumstances.
Could these be the weapons connected to Ron's murder?
The gentleman that they arrested, we started looking into him and looking at his background and everything. He had a pretty lengthy criminal history. Had actually been linked to some murders in the past. He really caught our attention. This turned out to be a big breakthrough.
Police in Panama City are investigating the cold-blooded homicide of husband and father, Ron Stovall. They now believe the missing murder weapons were used in a home invasion robbery, less than 15 miles away.
When meeting with this investigator from the Beach Police Department, what he produced from his crime scene was this: a handgun and a sawed-off shotgun. That coincides with what we're looking for. Then he brings out a shotgun round that is similar to the one that we've recovered from our crime scene. We have everything that meets the parameters. Now we really believe we're on the right path.
Now let's check the size
weapons are
again.
sent off to the crime lab. While detectives await the results, they dig deeper into this new lead.
Okay, it should be 6. No, I think one more, but we're going to see. Okay, we're going to measure.
There was some acts of violence in his past, and some drugs in his past. They really felt like he was a pretty violent individual.
Another detail catches their attention.
Tony had brown eyes, brown hair, and facial hair. He looks just like our guy. He met Mr. Stovall's physical description to a T.
So we're going to put this up for now. This is 6, so I'm just going to trim it. And I have one more over there. And I have the Afghan stitch. I got to practice that. because I keep shortening as I go up. So there's something I'm not doing right. And then I'm going to start going to the senior service center. I'm sure there's a lot of ladies there that know how to crochet. They can show me a thing or two.
Knowledge of anything that may have happened on that date, and basically told law enforcement, it's not me, I'm not the person.
Despite Tony's denials, investigators believe he's withholding information, and they obtain a search warrant.
Tony Perez had items that he owned stored at the landlord's house, and we're searching through Tony Perez's items over there. And then we find a pair of work boot type shoes.
While inspecting the footwear, detectives noticed a key detail.
Those work boots had what looked like the letter H, 2 H's, kind of next to each other on the sole. It looked like what we had found at the crime scene. And we got those sent right off to the lab.
As police hunt for more incriminating
Trying to get
evidence
pieces
against
for my
Tony,
knitting
the
machine.
ballistic results come
I
back.
got 2 upstairs that I'm sure I need additional parts for. So I'll find out Wednesday. There's one item I want to return. So I did make my phone call in stating I want to return that item. Okay.
That's major.
So now that we can put Tony,
See, this is the Afghan stitch. But as you can see, as I go up, it decreases on one side. On the other side, it's like lettuce shape at the ends. So this is not that great. It's not great at all. Okay, but I'm going to hold on to it because there could be something I can do with this.
To someone else, and that he didn't know what they did with him. He didn't have any involvement in it. But what he says is that he had heard Ron was dealing drugs, and that's why he was killed.
Okay.
We had already done it.
For now,
we knew Ron was not involved in any drug business. We had talked to too many
let
people.
this go.
He was a happily married man trying to make his life. That's what Ron was.
I'm going to continue with the socks. Okay? I see that takes a long time. I don't know if I'm too crazy about wanting to make socks. That's why I need to get the knitting machine running. It's so much easier on the knitting machine.
We'll make up stories.
Okay.
That's what Perez did. As far as the police could determine, that was a total concoction by Tony Perez.
Detectives believe Tony is lying, but wonder what motive he could have to kill Ron.
We were still kind of struggling to establish how Tony would have came into Ron's life.
Going through Tony's belongings, we found some cell phone bills there.
And
they were like the name of Kim
I
Miller.
wanted to
Kim Miller
match the weight. This side.
Kim Miller is the
So in the meantime, I'm just going to attach it to this so I can bring them all upstairs together. And next time I'm going to bring down the squares and circles that I have. This one is circle. Okay.
Investigators look for connections between Tony and Ron Stovall.
Kim was familiar with the Stovall homicide. She claims that she first heard about it because she had a customer that had called in and canceled her hair appointment, saying how her ex-son-in-law had been murdered.
When detectives ask Kim for the customer's name, they receive a startling response.
The connection kind of came out of nowhere and almost as a surprise.
Kim's client is Ann Trexler, who happens to be Kim's.
Okay, now. Papa. Okay.
Police believe
Let me see. This is what I'm going to be working on next. It's masking, making in the pasta dough.
Between Tony and Ron's ex-wife, Tina Trexler.
When Kim Miller indicated that she styled Tina's mother, Ann Trexler's hair, then law enforcement was pretty stunned by that.
Ann Trexler is the mother of Ron's ex-wife, Tina.
We knew of the ongoing hostilities between Ron and Tina. But when we talked with Kim Miller, we asked her if she had ever met Tina, his ex-wife, and she did met her on a couple of occasions. Tina's mother, Ann, however, was a regular client, was in there on a regular basis.
With Tina previously eliminated from the investigation, detectives asked Kim more about Tina's mother, 52-year-old Ann Trexler.
She told us that Ann's talking to her and telling her about these problems with her daughter going through this custody battle with her ex-husband. And she was upset about it. She's afraid she's going to lose her grandchild.
Ann had told Kimberly the Trexlers had to get a second mortgage on their home to provide legal assistance to Tina.
Could the custody battle be the motive behind Ron's murder?
At that point, we were trying to determine exactly who she was. She hadn't really been on our radar at all. We knew that she was Tina's mom. We knew that she was Tina's alibi at the time.
Eddie, calm down. He needs a psychiatrist. Okay, he has issues. Okay, so please forgive when you hear them. My little Eddie has issues.
Contact Ron's wife, Angelica, and learned his custody dispute with Tina brought out a different side to his former mother-in-law.
Apparently they had a good relationship when Tina and them were married, but it was just a constant battle over visitation rights. It was just such a fight with her.
Looking to see if Ann could have anything to do with Ron's murder, detectives bring her in for an interview.
When we talked to her, she stated to us that there was no way that she had anything to do with killing him. She did not want him dead. Matter of fact, she said she loved him. And then Ann Trexler wanted a lawyer. And once they get a lawyer, you're done talking.
So we're kind of getting a heightened sense of concern as far as her involvement in the case because she decided to basically not cooperate with the investigation.
Having hit a wall with Ann, detectives get a breakthrough when forensics results arrive.
We got confirmation that Tony's boot was consistent with the shoe impression that we had at the scene. Also, Tony had been in possession of the guns used. Now you've got a personal item putting him at the crime scene. At that point, we knew we had our shooter.
That's a big piece of evidence right there.
We were able to go back to Tony and present him with what we knew.
He admitted killing Ron. His very words were, "Okay, I did it." It's the shortest confession to a murder I've ever taken in my career.
Investigators push Tony to reveal how the crime unfolded, and what he tells them is shocking.
Tony told us that Ann Trexler wanted to have her ex-son-in-law killed and was willing to pay to have it done. When we found out Ann Trexler wanted to hire somebody to kill Ron, I mean, this is unbelievable. Ex-mother-in-law? Want to get involved and have pay somebody to kill her ex-son-in-law?
We went to the library yesterday and got our library card. I haven't been to the library in many years since my son was here. They have a lot of good stuff going on. Okay, so I'm going to be making, my way down there.
1998. Tony is charged with the first-degree murder of Ron Stovall. But the case is far from over. Detectives turn their attention back to alleged mastermind Ann Trexler. Searching for answers, detectives pull Ann's phone records.
The phone records were a treasure trove of information. They showed a lot of phone traffic between Kim Miller and Antonio Perez and Ann Trexler.
It clearly looks like Kimberly was the middle person between Ann and Tony.
There were phone calls between the Trexler house and Kim Miller at strange hours of the night for strange amounts of time. They could not be explained away by saying, "We're setting up our ransom set." Another thing, we were able to show that Ann Trexler received a phone call from Kim Miller the morning right after Ron's death. So there were links to tie Ann Trexler to this plot, but there was no hard, concrete connection of evidentiary value. We needed something else that would show that Ann, in fact, had hired Antonio Perez to kill Ron Stovall.
Tony Perez, he says that he come to an agreement with Dan Trexler to kill Ron for $10,000.
Detectives scour Ann's financial records for any signs she had commissioned Ron's murder.
We have withdrawals from her bank accounts that coincide with when Tony says he was paid and the amount that he was paid. So now we have proof that what Tony's telling us is accurate regarding being paid. With regards to Ann, none of us had ever worked a case like this. So it was kind of a shock that all of these pieces were kind of lining up to support she is the motivation to this entire crime.
But we felt like we still could not make the case against Dan Trexler. We needed someone to corroborate what Tony Perez said. We needed somebody else that can draw the line between the money and the murder of Ron Stovall.
We have to go back to the middleman in the case, which is Kim Miller.
She's the whole key to this thing.
She was looking at criminal charges, but without her, we're not going to get Ann. She is the only way that we're going to have true accounts of what happened.
We went and picked up Kim Miller and brought her in.
Kim Miller, she stoned me. She said, no, I'm not talking to you. I'm not telling you anything.
When they say no, then that means you know. Okay? And you know. Okay?
And believe the mastermind is Ron's former mother-in-law, Ann Trexler. But to
this
build an
is
ironclad case, they need Tony's girlfriend and go-between
trying to remember the name. This is doing looming. Okay, so this is supposed to be a sock loom.
Between Ann and her and Tony, that we were able
takes
to
forever
to cooperate with the investigation.
We let her know, she was going to be charged with accessory to the murder.
Okay, it's real tight. Of course, the closer these crimes are together, the tighter the weave. Okay.
Kimberly was very adamant that there was a deep-seated hatred for Ron on Ann Trexler's part.
She indicated that on many occasions, Dan Trexler ranted and raved about Ron Stovall, how bad he was, that he was going to remove her granddaughter. She wished that somebody would take him out, and it got more and more. Finally, Kim said, okay, if you're really serious, I know somebody who might help you.
Kim lets her know that her boyfriend, Tony Perez, will get rid of him for $10,000. And that's how the deal came about.
Kim then reveals how in the early hours of October 6th, Tony drove to the Stovall house.
Oh, we're going to go camping.
About 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, I'm going to check out the gear we have down in the basement.
And Ron ran inside and slammed the door
Can't
behind
wait.
him, and Tony Perez fired
Just got to make sure that we all get in that car if it does rain or if it becomes too cold.
Angelica, she tried to hold the door. Tony Perez fired a shot that almost struck her. She ran to the other room to call 911.
Tony Perez came in and he found Ron on the floor and walked up with a shotgun, said, this is for her. Boom. He killed Ron Stovall right there.
When he made the statement, this is for her, it's our belief that he was doing this on Ann's behalf.
Tony came there to do one thing, and that was to kill Ron Stovall.
Once he had made his getaway, he was able to reach out to Kimberly and make notice to her that, in fact, the job had been done. And then, of course, she notified Ann.
Kim swears Ron's ex-wife, Tina Trexler, wasn't involved in their murderous plan.
Law enforcement looked at Tina Trexler. Her mother, Ann, may have confided in her, but no one could get to that much evidence to put Tina in the situation of taking Ron's life.
Ann Trexler, she tried to be the grandmother in the type, but she planned this whole thing.
Ann Trexler's thought pattern
was Ron Stovall is getting ready to take my only precious granddaughter away from me. And I'm going to have visitation. And he left my daughter. He married somebody else. He should not be able to get away with it.
From an investigator's perspective, Ann carried just as much weight as Tony. Without Ann, Tony would not have even known who Ron Stovall was.
On February 15, 2000, Ann Trexler is formally charged with the murder of her former son-in-law, Ron Stovall.
Okay.
Then the cops called and said, got her, she's in jail. She is morbidly evil. The darkest, blackest soul ever. And then she'll put on a face like she's just Miss Innocent. The killer, he didn't know Ron. Ann knew Ron. I do not understand how somebody can have so much hatred in their body, in their mind, in their heart.
In court, shooter Tony Perez pleads guilty and is sentenced to life without parole. In February 2000, Kim Miller is sentenced to 5 years probation as part of her deal with prosecutors. Finally, in 2001, Ann's trial begins, and she pleads not guilty.
Ann Trexler took the stand. She testified about not being involved. She testified about her concerns of her grandchild and the fact that she had absolutely no involvement.
On May 14, 2001, the jury finds Ann Trexler guilty of first-degree murder. She's sentenced to life in prison without parole.
There's a little piece. I've been a little piece in this horrible thing. A little justice, I guess.
Gets a little emotional sometimes. It's not just me. You know, we're a whole team working this thing, and we celebrated. I'll just say that. We celebrated this one.
The most striking thing to me is that these are all ordinary people. And it's a little bit frightening to think that people who are walking around living everyday ordinary lives would be capable of this.
The one that initiated it all was someone that if you passed on the street would look as innocent as they come.
For Ron's family, his loss continues to be deeply felt.
I miss him and I love him so much. My poor daughter, she never got to honor what she deserved. She never got her daddy. We celebrate his life all the time. He loved life. He loved to be happy. And I've tried so hard to keep his memory alive. Very much so. I will never forget how amazing Ron was.
Okay.